Hello, my name is Wyatt Moore, and today I will be talking about Gugak music, which is the traditional music of Korea. Gugak, pronounced Gugak, directly translates to national music, and is used to describe the unique tradition of Korean music that has been going on for thousands of years. The influence of Gugak music comes from Korea's close-by countries of Japan and China, where similarities between instruments and notation systems can be found. Korea, however, is very unique in the way its music is used and can be appreciated as such. Much of the information and preservation of Gugak music comes from the National Gugak Center, which is based in Seoul, Korea. The photo on the slide is the front of that center. They employ many historians and musicians to accurately depict to the modern world what Gugak music is, and even have an active YouTube account which broadcasts many performances of this music. There have been many milestones of innovation to Gugak music during Korea's history that it would take a long time to list them all, so I'll only give you a few key highlights. Gugak dates back all the way to 57 BCE during Korea's Three Kingdoms period. During this time, an instrument called the kayogol was invented. Today, that instrument is known as the kayogoyom and is used at most Gugak ensemble settings. A picture of the instrument is shown at the bottom left. Ak is a form of court music created during the Koryo period. You can see this in the bottom middle photo. The ritual of the music was heavily influenced by China. Jeongambo is a type of notation system adapted during the Joseon dynasty that uses boxes and Chinese letters to indicate time and pitch. You can see this in the bottom right photo. We will go over all of these topics and more later in the presentation. Next, we're going to talk about some of the instruments associated with Gugak music. The danso is a bamboo flute that was created during the Joseon dynasty. There are 5 pitched holes which are covered by the fingers of the performer, 4 in the front and 1 thumb hole on the back. The danso is mostly seen in duet or trio settings, but has been used in large court music as well. Much like in America, where students at a young age learn the recorder, the danso is taught to most young students in Korea, as it is a small instrument and with little practice can create a beautiful sound. The next slide will show you a video of the duet with the danso. The kayugum is a beautiful string instrument made up of 12 to 25 silk or metal strings. The instrument is played laying across the lap of the performer while they are sitting down, and the performer uses their right hand to pluck the strings, while the left is used to bend the strings to create a unique timbre of sound, much like a violin or cello does to create vibrato. The instrument plays a strong melodic role in many Gugak ensembles. The next instrument we'll be looking at is the janggu. This is an hourglass-shaped instrument held tight by strings. The instrument is laid horizontally to the ground in front of the performer, and the performer uses either 2 sticks or 1 stick and 1 hand to play either side of the head of the drum. The importance of rhythm in Gugak music cannot be overstated, and this instrument is the basis of that rhythm in almost all ensembles. The next slide contains a duet of the kayugum and the janggu playing a style of folk music called sanjo, which we will talk about more later in the presentation. The performer playing the kayugum is named Park De-som. The hung piri is a part of the piri flute family and is traditionally used in court music, but can be played for folk music as well. Compared to the danso we looked at earlier, the instrument has a much lower and reedier sound. It uses 8 tone holes, 7 in the front and 1 thumb hole in the back. Its range is quite extensive because of its ability to play multiple pitches from one fingering like a brass instrument. The term hang translates to indigenous, as the hang piri originates from Korea. This is unlike the dang piri, where dang references the Tang dynasty from China. The next slide will be a solo performance of the hang piri by Park Ji-ha. There are many genres of Gugak music, but we'll be going over only 3: court music, folk music, and newly composed music. Court music can be identified by a large ensemble of people all playing many different instruments and wearing similar clothing. The purpose of this music was for entertainment during ceremonies of the royal court. These ceremonies included the birthdays of members of the court, like the prince, processions and dances, and banquets. The next slide is a traditional song called Suncheon, which was played during the Joseon dynasty. This performance was put on by the National Gugak Center and Kim Byung-ho as concertmaster. Folk music looks entirely different from court music. Only a few individuals play in the ensembles of folk tradition. There are many different kinds of folk music. Minyo is a sung and/or played type of folk music, which is performed traditionally by non-professional artists. This type of music has a large role in society as it's connected to the role of labor, entertainment, and ritual. Sanjo, however, is strictly instrumental folk music that shows the technical ability and expressive beauty of a professional artist. The next slide will show you the performance of song Se Taryong, or Bird Song, which is a very popular minyo song in Korea. Newly composed music is a type of fusion between the traditional styles of Gugak and the contemporary techniques and instruments of today. The emphasis of this music is to preserve the tradition of Gugak music while appealing to a younger audience so that the style of Gugak does not die out in the future. The next slide contains a song called Yanoi Taeyong, or Ballad of a Love Story, composed by Jae Jinhee and sung by Park Jungmi.
요즘 여자 다 가진 쌍꺼풀은 없지만 보름달같이 둥근 얼굴 미소는 덤이지 철새 미녀 황진이 얼굴 모양새는 아니어도 매력이 철철 넘쳐 안 넘어오고 배길 수 있나.
Next, we are going to talk about one of the most popular forms of notation to represent Gugak music today. Jingambo, as well as Western notation, are the most commonly used notation systems to represent Gugak music today. Jingambo was created in the 1400s to overcome the deficiency of previous notation systems in Korea, which did not represent movement in time. In this notation system, each square represents one unit of time, and the squares themselves contain Chinese characters that express the pitch to be played. This system also uses the 12-tone system, the same as Western notation. If two symbols are in one square, each note is played in the same time square, like two eighth notes in 4/4 time. If a box is empty, the note before it is played twice as long, like a half note in 4/4 time. The music is read from top to bottom in columns going left to right. Let's look at an example of Jangabo. The first square at the top contains three symbols, though three notes are played in one unit of time. The next square is an E flat, which is preceded by an empty square. This means the note is held twice as long. The second to last time square has two symbols of F and A flat, which are played in one time unit. Once you understand how Jangambo works, you can easily create your own music with this notation system. 감사합니다. Thank you for watching my presentation of Gugak music, and I hope you were able to learn a little bit more about Korea and its national music.